Hello YouTube, back with what will probably be the final My Little Pony review, because I'm not doing Effective Magic. I guess I could do G5, but it really depends on how that all pans out. It'll probably be a while before I end up actually going through that. But today is mostly going to go through kind of somewhat lost media, because it's more of it's the pilot. Yes, there was an actual pilot for My Little Pony A Charming Birthday, but it was in 2001 versus 2003. And at first, you're probably going to think that's rather strange, considering it's 2 years before the release of A Charming Birthday, but it's actually only about a year. It's from G3's official release, so it's not that big a deal, because it was actually released, it was revealed in 2001, and the only reason why I know about it is because someone who apparently worked on both the commercials and got to see this pilot, Gina Giovanni on the My Little Pony G3 wiki that I manage. This is all from her information that she's posted. And I don't think it'd be in her best interest to lie. And I'm quite confident she's not lying in this one. I mean, she would have had access to this pilot, because it was apparently restricted access, and you can't access it now. It's not even in the archive. You can't even access the pop-up that would otherwise allow you to log in to view it. But, from what I understand, I mean, the storylines appears to be the same, but there appears to be new characters that were, I guess, later taken out due to being unnecessary. I mean, Rainbow Flash and Pink Sunsparkle were both in this for some reason or another. I'm not quite sure why, but they were also, shiny and reflective, and so there were definitely some changes. But it actually won an award, I think, for best animation at the SIGGRAPH 2001 event. I'm not really all that familiar with how SIGGRAPH works, but apparently, they've been, I guess, having events throughout the throughout the years. But in this case, they had this pilot that was done in 3D animation, so it was a rather unusual step, and I think it may have been, to some extent, what we would have gotten with the movie that never came as well. And speaking of the movie, there's actually a bit more on that, but I'll get on to that a little bit later. But in terms of this pilot, there's not a whole lot else to talk about, but it was 10 minutes long. That's pretty sizable animation. You have no idea. Apparently there were bugs as well, but then that's to be expected. It's unclear exactly what was done. You can see my cat walking around here. Minwei is wandering through here. Yep, there she goes. A little special guest, although she probably doesn't personally care. But yeah, this pilot was, I'd love to see it, but as far as we can tell, this is probably never going to happen unless the people behind it, SD Entertainment, who later went on to do the G3 movies themselves that were done without 3D animation. But it's kind of interesting that they included two other characters that would later be taken out. So it would have been interesting to see how much of a role they played in the movie. Maybe they gave their own. I suspect they may have been background characters that were later removed. That would make sense to me, considering then you can take them out and nothing has changed, really. But yeah, that's my review on the My Little Pony G3 pilot. So I'm going to move on to the extra bits that I found out from, I was going to post on Instagram for this document, this licensing document thing that had a whole list of documents that revealed not only a bit more about the movie that was canceled, because apparently it's 85 minutes long, at least that was the plan, and actually had plans to go on VHS. It was going to be released, it was actually going to be shown on TV during weekdays and weekends as well. So that's pretty cool. We never knew that before. We didn't know how long it was actually going to be. An hour and 25 minutes is, and of course we already knew it was going to be 3D, somewhat a mixture of live action and animation. So, but we still don't know exactly what that would have looked like. But it's definitely an interesting bit of information there. Although it's not a whole lot, but it does help at least confirm how long the movie would have been. So if you ever wanted to make a movie, your own version of the movie, you now have the length of time, to add to it. So yeah, that's my potentially my final review on the My Little Pony for a while. Thanks for watching.